The newest form of e-cigarette, known as the Juul, is taking over high schools all over the nation. Its small and sleek shape has made it easy for students to bring to school and use in class and in hallways and bathrooms. Juuls have a higher concentration of nicotine than many other forms of e-cigarettes, as each Juul pod contains as much nicotine as one pack of cigarettes or 200 cigarette puffs. Nicotine is a severely addictive substance, and many people that Juul have acquired an addiction. One of the main concerns of a nicotine addiction is that it can affect brain development. There are many other health risks of juuling, so we decided to sit down and talk with our school nurse to help reveal some more of the health risks. Our first question is, what are the health risks of juuling?
That's a really good question because the product hasn't been out that long, so there's no long-term studies yet, so we don't really know for sure. We know some of the short-term effects, and we know that it does contain some chemicals like formaldehyde, things that are toxic. There's something called popcorn lung that some people have been developing. It does some damage to the alveoli in your lungs, and but yeah, we really don't know the long-term effects because they just haven't been around that long and it hasn't been studied. Mm-hmm. So it'll be 10 or 20 years before we know for sure what happened to people.
Okay, so my next question is it true that it is healthier than smoking cigarettes?
Again, we don't truly know for sure, but I think there's some evidence that it's not. For one thing, the kinds that have nicotine have some higher nicotine content than regular cigarettes, and also some people tend to smoke them more constantly than they would smoke a cigarette. So sometimes you see people and they're vaping or juuling, and it's just like almost constant. So they're definitely taking in more nicotine than they would with cigarettes, which just aren't socially acceptable. So you don't see people using them as much as you do the newer devices. All over the marketing it says, this is not intended for kids, but it definitely was intended and marketed to kids because the cigarette companies saw they were losing market share and they had to do something to kind of get a new generation of people addicted to their products. So
since jewels have become so popular and the risks can be severe, many high schools are starting to put severe punishments for students who get caught with them on school grounds. Our own school has many policies and punishments for jewels already set in place. We sat down with Mr. Melton to discuss our school's policies and other programs the school is implementing in the future to prevent the use of jewels and tobacco products on our school grounds. I want to know, why do you think juuling is so popular in high schools?
I think it's easy to conceal. I think they're easy to get their students to get their hands on them. I think they're such a new item that maybe parents or guardians don't know exactly what they are, and they just think they're a piece of technology. And I think you can keep them secret quite easily.
Mm-hmm. How many students have you caught with them in the past year, do you think?
Too many. Way too many. I couldn't give you an exact number, but it's in the double digits, okay, easily.
What are the school's policy on juuling, and what are the consequences?
So that's a great question that you asked that, because just today we're working on partnering with a local organization for when a student is caught juuling, that we will require them to take a anti-tobacco class to kind of teach about the dangers of tobacco. Right now it's a minimum of 5 days of in-school suspension, and we can couple that with a tobacco ticket, but we don't want to necessarily distribute that ticket. That's why we're excited about this new program that we're trying to get off the ground, where instead of just saying, hey, here's a big fat ticket that you have to pay for having a Juul, we can say, hey, go get educated about why tobacco is so bad, and spend a Saturday morning learning more about it. So that's the avenue I think that we're going to pursue. Nothing's concrete right now, but I think we're going to try to go down that road.
And then what steps is the school taking to just ban students from having them at all?
Well, they've always been banned. And I mean, it goes all the way back to, I've been here for 12 years, and just in that 12 years I've seen, you don't even find cigarettes anymore.
Yeah.
And then you had the big vape machine things, those are gone. Then you had the vape pens, and those are gone. And now we're all the way down to the Juuls. So they are still considered a tobacco producing product.
Juuling in school is still a serious issue and has the capability of being one for a long time due to its concealability. There are many health risks involved, and many are still unknown. Also, with the punishments for juuling being as serious as they are, many students will hopefully use basic common sense and not jewel in school.